Crosstown Classic lived up to the hype. Back on the south side for Game 2 tonight. Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Crosstown Classic continues. It's Game 2 of 4. We're here tonight on the south side. We'll head back to Wrigley Field on Wednesday night. The White Sox taking Game 1 in a thriller, 5-4 last night. And welcome to Cubs baseball. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs found a way to come back. They didn't complete the comeback last night, but of course it was Anthony Rizzo who tied the game.
Yeah, no surprise it was Anthony Rizzo that came through with a big hit yesterday, as he did the day before against Milwaukee. He's been so good in late inning pressure situations. Here's the bases clearing double against Will Smith of the Brewers the other day. 4:49 in the 7th inning or later. Since June 2nd, and then last night off tough left-hander, he pokes the RBI single into left.
So that tied it up. The White Sox would win it in game-ending fashion with Tyler Saladino's big hit. It'll be Kyle Hendricks tonight in our Quicken Loans rocket arms. He doesn't throw that fast, but he's getting a lot of outs.
Yeah, a lot of weak contact with that sinker changeup combination. He has not allowed an earned run here in the month of July, going a little bit further than that. Over his last 6 starts, he is 4-0 with an 0.57 earned run average.
James Shields, who was acquired in early June, will pitch for the White Sox. He got off to a terrible start with his new team, but he has been very good as of late. So a great pitching matchup on the mound. Kyle Hendricks for the Cubs. He ranks 3rd in all of Major League Baseball in ERA. He'll face Shields of the White Sox. We'll have the lineups, the first pitch, and all the action coming up next.
Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency. Low fares. Nothing to hide.
Gorgeous night. Cubs and White Sox. Game 2 of 4. We'll head to Wrigley Field for night games Wednesday and Thursday. Cubs still with the best record in baseball and 7-game lead over the Cardinals, who are leading late at the Mets 3-2 in the 8th. Game 1 of a doubleheader in that one. White Sox jump past the Royals into 3rd place in the American League Central, but still 8 games back, kind of buried in the wild card as well. But they've won 3 in a row. They're trying to win their 4th straight for the first time since early May. That's veteran right-hander James Shields. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup that will face him tonight. Dexter Fowler in the leadoff spot and playing the field again tonight. He's in center. Chris Bryant is the DH. Rizzo, Zobrist, Russell, and Hayward occupy the middle. Javier Baez will play second. He has been red hot and had a big game last night. Miguel Montero heating up as of late. Tommy LaStella will bat 9th. He'll play 3rd.
White Sox defensively brought to you by Arby's. Melky Cabrera, the defensive hero in the ball game last night. A couple of sparkling plays, including robbing Chris Bryant of a home run. Also threw him out at second base, trying to stretch a single into a double. J.B. Shuck in center, Adam Eaton in right. Infield, Frazier, Anderson, Saladino, and Abreu. Leonard Navarro behind the plate tonight. And the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the White Sox is the veteran right-hander James Shields, 34 years of age, 4-12, 499. He's made 20 starts between San Diego and here with the Sox. With the White Sox 2-5 with a 6 in 9 starts, but much better of late, 2-3 with a 2.10 ERA over his last 5 starts.
Here are your umpires tonight. Back of the plate is Hal Gibson, Hunter Wendelstedt at first, crew chief Jerry Lane at second, Scott Barry is at third. White Sox keep winning in these 83 throwbacks, so they're going to wear them again tonight. And if Dexter Fowler gets a hit tonight, the leadoff man is presented, remember, by Binny's Beverage Depot. Binny's would donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Shields ready to go. And the first pitch misses low for ball 1.
Shields has been very dependable, very reliable for a long time now. 131 major league wins against 109 losses.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
9 consecutive seasons of 200 innings or more. 9 consecutive seasons of 30 starts or more. Fastball, cutter, curve, and a real good changeup.
One driven out into right center. It's Adam Eaton to make the catch. So 1 away, and it's Chris Bryant. He had an eventful game last night, 2 for 4. He was robbed of a home run by Melky Cabrera in his first at bat. And he was thrown out by Cabrera at second in the ninth, trying to stretch a single into a double. Talked to Chris today. He said, what, neck, head? He said everything. He was pretty sore after that headfirst slide. But back in there tonight, and he's the DH.
Rest the body a little bit. But keep the bat in the lineup.
One pulled foul.
See, Cabrera's got a long way to go to get this ball over towards the line and then make that long throw into second base. So this has been characterized as a base running blunder, but I don't see it that way. I think it's just a heck of a play by Cabrera.
1-1 from Shields, swing and a miss. Bryant's major league debut was at Wrigley Field on April 17th of last year. And his first 3 at-bats were strikeouts against James Shields of the Padres at the time. Chris, this is how he starts at the next level. He usually struggles in a few at-bats, and then he becomes an all-star.
Yeah, and you can imagine Shields will be a very difficult matchup for him because you're all amped up, the adrenaline's pumping, and you're seeing all that good off-speed stuff. And Shields kind of toyed with him that day, and there he goes again.
That's the one he needs to lay off and hasn't been able to against Shields here early on in his career. 2 outs. That looked like a carbon copy, didn't it?
Yeah. Shields staying with the same game plan against Bryant. Catches him out in front of that off-speed pitch.
Nice hand from the Cub fans in attendance for Anthony Rizzo. Yeah, there was a lot of baseball stuff to chew on strategically from the game last night after Rizzo tied the game in the 9th inning. Joe Madden, when he was at second base, took him out for a pinch runner, Matt Caesar. Said Matt had a better chance to score on a base hit to the outfield, and he said his bullpen was pretty thin, so he did not envision that game going too long. He wanted to win it right there. He said he was not too concerned about getting to Rizzo's spot in the order the next time, because if needed, he still had Tommy La Stella, who could have hit for Caesar depending on the matchup. 2-0 is low and outside, 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, and that's what most managers are going to do in that situation. He didn't run for him when he was on first base, but when once he got into scoring position, Joe decided to send Caesar out there for the upgrade in speed. And, you know, all 4. And people will say, man, you're taking your best hitter out of the lineup. You could end up in an extra inning affair and then really miss him. But Spot's probably not going to come up for a couple of innings. If it comes up earlier than that, that means you've done some damage, so you're probably in pretty good shape anyway.
Switch hitting Ben Zobrist. Shields has had a strange year, hasn't he? Really, last couple of years. So he signs the big contract with the Padres, 4 years, $75 million. That was the largest deal at the time in club history for San Diego. And they were gearing up for a big run. Did not work out, so they traded him in early June to the White Sox.
Yeah, he won 13 games for the Padres last year, and he went through basically there was a 4-start stretch where he was just awful.
It was his last start with San Diego and his first 3 starts with the White Sox. He couldn't get anybody out.
An ERA of 24.69 in 4 starts. You take those out of the equation, and he's got a 285 for the rest of the year. But he wasn't winning in San Diego. Even when he was pitching pretty well, he wasn't winning. Remember the owner or the CEO, somebody threw him under the bus, said he's been an embarrassment, which is really bad form.
Got a lot of flair as he gets into that stretch position. The 2-1 misses, 3 balls and a strike. So those 4 starts, you mentioned the ERA, 11 1/3 innings, 32 hits, 31 earned runs, 7 homers, 13 walks. It was hard to be that bad, but give him credit. You mentioned it earlier. He has rebounded big time. Right to the first baseman, Abreu, steps on the base, and the Cubs done in the first. Kyle Hendricks will take the ball when we return. Now the White Sox Southwest starting lineup, exactly what we saw last night. Not going to change too much because they have won 3 in a row. Eaton, Anderson, Cabrera, Abreu, Morneau, Frazier in the middle. Frazier with his 29th home run. Shuck, Navarro, and the 9-hitter Saladino won it in the ninth.
Arby's presents the Cubs defensively. Ben Zobrist slides over to left tonight. Dexter Fowler back in there after DHing last night. Jason Hayward in right. La Stella, Russell, Baez, Rizzo third to first. Miguel Montero behind the plate, and Alexis pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher is the crafty right-hander Kyle Hendricks. 9-6 with a .227 earned run average. He throws strike one a high percentage of the time, and a great majority of those are fastballs. First pitch fastball 92% of the time to right-handed batters for Hendricks, a little bit less to lefties. It's all about movement, command, and working off that sinker with that real good changeup.
Swing and a miss on the change, and it's 1-2. Cubs made a roster move before the game, adding Aroldis Chapman to the 25-man roster. Lefty Clayton Richard designated for assignment. So the Cubs' newest acquisition will be in the bullpen tonight and available. Kyle's 2-2 is fouled out of play. 86 degrees as we got started.
Adam Eaton a ground ball hitter. Kyle Hendricks a ground ball pitcher. Floats too far away to get the swing.
Eaton leads the American League in triples and infield hits.
Wasn't moving around very well last night. A little bit of a balky leg or something.
Fouled the ball off his foot, got hit by a pitch in the back over the weekend against the Tigers.
When healthy, a threat to run. 11 steals and 14 tries.
So here's Tim Anderson. A word, if I may, on these throwback uniforms.
It's your scissors.
Do they not fit the time or what? I mean, it looks like an arcade game. The Cubs had the old powder blue with the white pinstripes from the late 70s, which fit the time. And
I kind of dig these because it's just nostalgic.
Yeah. In the hole and through. Russell might have gotten a glove on it. White Sox have the first 2 on here in the opening inning.
The ball that Russell normally is going to glove, whether he would have had a play or not, I don't know.
So some early trouble here for Hendricks.
Sharply hit. That'll be a base hit for Anderson. Six and a third scoreless last time out for Kyle. That was against the Mets. Struck out 7 in that ball game. Allowed just 1 walk, 7 hits. His 5th consecutive win.
Cabrera, big impact defensively last night. Comes in with a 10-game hitting streak. Foul pop-up. La Stella has plenty of room. He's got it. can steal home runs away in this ballpark, and Cabrera did.
Won't get high marks for the landing. It's a heck of a catch.
First baseman Abreu.
Kyle pitched twice against the White Sox last year, once at Wrigley, once here. The game here did not go particularly well for him. Gave up 5 runs in 3 1/3. Talked often last year about just not having the feel for his sinker. Times maybe trying to overpower the ball, but that hasn't been the case this year. He's been so consistent start after start.
One and two the count. It's a sign from Montero. Here's the pitch. Pulled away, foul, out of play. The height of the outfield wall from foul pole to foul pole, uniform 8 feet. So that will allow outfielders to go up and get them. Was it Dwayne Wise who made the big catch?
Dwayne Wise, I remember him.
Burley's, was it his perfect game? Yeah, the catch.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Look out. Into center for a base hit. Eaton will score. And it's 1-0 White Sox.
Pull it right back through the middle. Abreu's power. Fowler really playing deep. Of course, that's been the MO of the Cubs all year, playing deeper in the outfield. So no chance to get on this ball quickly enough to have a shot at Eaton at home. So just get it back into second base becomes the play. Change up, just floated up there. Belly button high for Abreu.
So Hendricks had not allowed an earned run since June 29th. We've gone over 22 innings without allowing an earned run prior to this first inning tonight. Ball 1 on Justin Morneau. Also on the play, Anderson advanced to third. Morneau had 1 hit, 4 tries last night. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Plays strike, a little off the edge there. In fact, 1 and 2.
Well, if Hal Gibson, the home plate umpire, is going to give him that one, he can hang away out there all night long.
Morneau, 35 years old. He's from New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada. Swing and a miss. Could not handle the change.
Historically, Canadians have had a hard time with the change of pace. It's a fastball hitting country. A lot of fast pitch softball up there, especially Western Canadians. They struggle with the changeup.
Here's Todd Frazier. This is the White Sox 100th game of the season. Frazier homers tonight. He would join Frank Thomas, Jim Thome, and Adam Dunn as the only White Sox players to hit 30 homers in the team's first 100 games of a season.
Showing bunts. Frazier not hitting for average. He'll take his walks. Kind of interesting that Robbins got him down in the 6th spot in the batting order. So Robin would tell you, well, I just want to go right, left, right there with Abreu, Morneau, and then Frazier.
He held. It's 3-1. Games but one last night as a Cincinnati Red. 3-1 pitch. He walked him. Bases loaded. It'll bring up Shuck, the center fielder.
For Hendricks to have 2 walks in an inning. Last 4 starts, he's had no more than 2 in a game.
Jack Burdette Shuck takes a strike. It's Anderson at 3rd. Abreu's 2nd. Frazier 1st. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Shuck, an alum of the Ohio State University.
He's not really thrived in these situations, has he? 3 out of 31 with the bases loaded. Doesn't strike out much. I said that last night right before he struck out. Swings and misses less frequently than anybody on their ball club.
Hendricks ready, the pitch, and he struck him out.
There we go. He strikes out all the time.
White Sox get 1 and leave them loaded. 1-0 after 1. CHN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Time now for greater coverage of baseball. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Padres with another deal. Melvin Upton Jr. to the Toronto Blue Jays. And Ichiro in the lineup tonight for the Miami Marlins. 4 hits away from 3,000. He is 0 for 1. 1 strike on Addison Russell.
Saw a note somewhere a few days ago that when Ichiro gets to 3,000, he will become the 4th foreign-born player to achieve that milestone.
Russell, line drive, base hit. Cubs have their first hit tonight.
The other 3. Roberto Clemente.
Okay.
Rodney
exactly
Carew.
3,000,
Yeah.
right?
Rodney Klein Carew.
Okay.
And Rafael Palmeiro.
Leadoff man aboard. Here's Jason Hayward. Doubled in the 5 trips last night. Abreu holds on Russell, who normally takes a pretty good lead. Fastball for a strike.
Jason typically takes that first pitch, and so what's happening is he's falling behind, and then they start to expand the zone on him, especially up. Fastball's up. There's been a trouble spot for him this year.
Shields was a 16th round pick. The then Devil Rays back in 2000 out of Newhall, California. There's the 0-1. Little dribbler back to Shields, and he'll get Hayward with Russell advancing.
Shields probably made the right decision there to make sure he got an out. Very close play at second base. Shields, the same high school as newcomer Mike Montgomery.
Yep.
And many other luminaries there too.
William S. Hart High School. Bob Walk. Kevin Millar, Todd Zeal, Trevor Bauer.
Joe Kapp, the old quarterback.
Yeah.
Dee Myers. The Clinton White House.
Well, they all didn't go to school together, but the same school.
No, but they have a pretty impressive group of alums.
Baez hitting 7th tonight and playing 2nd. 3 for 4, 2-run homer, double steal, 2 runs last night. Cubs now have 5 guys with at least 10 home runs.
They hit a bullet into the White Sox bullpen on a hanging changeup for the home run, then drove a ball into the right field corner for his double.
Chased a bad one that time.
Gonzalez, who was so sharp last night, didn't make many mistakes, but that was one, and he paid for it. He's having a fine July. 400 on base, 525 slugging to go along with that 361 batting average.
Two. Navarro will throw him out. 2nd strikeout for Shields. And we'll bring up Montero.
Force Shields into the zone. So both the off-speed pitches, the curveball and the changeup, effective so far here for Shields. Pitch he really has gotten hurt on this year is the cut fastball. I mentioned the home run problems for him in that really rough stretch, but it goes beyond that. He's allowed 20 home runs. Even recently in these good starts he's had, most of the runs against him have come via the long ball. So as long as you're not walking people and giving up a bunch of hits, Pitch around a couple solo home runs.
By the way, tonight is the first time in over a month, June 22nd, that Wilson Contreras is not in the Cubs starting lineup. Played a lot of left, catch, first base. Available off the bench tonight.
And you love those guys who are comfortable, who are not comfortable when they're not playing. And he's already gearing up to warm up Hendricks. I mean, he's got the mask on. He's ready to go.
And his manager may say, Wilson, there's a reason I gave you a day off, and that is to get you off your feet. 2-0 on Montero with La Stella on deck. James Shields already had a White Sox connection before he was traded here. His cousin is Aaron Rowan. 3-0. Their moms are sisters. Ball 4. This will be a very tough out. Tommy La Stella was in the leadoff spot on Sunday in Milwaukee. He went 3 for 3 with a walk, a double, an RBI, and a run. Not a bad 9-hitter tonight, right? 294 on the year.
Yeah, 385 on base. Good slugging numbers.
Ball 1.
Six of the 9 will swing from the left side against Shields here tonight. Left-right splits against him, though very similar. Lefty's hitting 278, righty's 282.
Tried the curve outside. 2-1. Incredible atmosphere here last night. Ben Zobrist told me it felt like a playoff game. Three and 1. And I went to the best source possible, John Lackey, because he's been everywhere.
Yep.
And I knew he wouldn't lie to me. He said, compare the atmosphere last night. And he said, well, it's not quite Yankees Red Sox. He said, more Angels Dodgers, maybe a couple of fights in the stands, but nothing too bad. And he said, yeah, it got really loud in the ninth.
Yeah, of the games I've seen, Cubs White Sox in this ballpark, that was the one with the most energy. It was very lively. A lot of fun.
Three and 2, the runners on the move with 2 outs and a bounding ball. The second, Saladino, with all kinds of time. And we've got catcher's interference. So the bases are loaded. That will be a no at bat for La Stella, and I believe an error will be charged to Navarro.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on. I was watching Tommy run down the first baseline, and I thought, what is he doing? Did he blow out his hamstring or something? But no, it was catcher's interference as Navarro reaching for that pitch, and La Stella's back clips it. So Tommy's pointing back. The call made by Hal Gibson, the home plate umpire. And a big chance here for Dexter Fowler.
Yep. So CI in the book and E2. Well, again, no at bat charged to La Stella. Do you believe that is a skill? Certain hitters can.
No, I think it's a byproduct of approach at certain hitters.
I've heard some people say that they'll try to buy one on occasion. Here's Fowler, and he takes ball one. Approach meaning let the ball get deep.
Yeah, guys who, maybe they stand back in the box, maybe they let the ball travel.
Throw to third, and Russell got back in safely.
Navarro trying to, quote unquote, pick himself up. The catcher's interference, trying to pick off Russell. You see Frazier there, way off the line, so essentially baiting Russell to pick that aggressive secondary.
Really making Shields labor here in the second. 1-2. Cub hitters have reached base in different ways. Single, walk, catcher's interference. Outside, 2-2. To first, foul.
Both teams short in the bullpen last night. It would have been really interesting had that game gone into extra innings. No Robertson, no Jones for the White Sox last night. Joe was staying away from Travis Wood and Pedro Strop.
Three and two with the bases loaded.
I'm not saying he won't throw a fastball here, but if you're Dexter Fowler, you cannot sell out and sit on a 3-2 heater here. With the command he has shown with his off-speed stuff. Out in front a little bit, but able to get a piece of that changeup. Everybody on the move. Double should score 3.
There they go. Here it comes. Popped him up.
He's probably not going to score any.
And Navarro cradles it to end the inning. Both teams have left the bases loaded early on.
Field. Kyle Hendricks and the Cubs trailing 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the second. This is your Coors Light game report. Hendricks a perfect 3-0 in 4 starts this month. Had a chance to catch up with him the other day, and he said more than anyone maybe on this team, catching coach Mike Borzello has played into his success this season because of the scouting reports he puts together. He said, you know, I don't throw 97. My stuff isn't going to beat anybody. So I rely heavily on those scouting reports. And he says it can be information overload at times, but between the video and the scouting reports, he says, I've really found a happy medium, and says that Mike Borzello is a big part of that. JD, I posed the question to you. How much did you rely on those scouting reports when you took them out?
Didn't have them, Kelly. I'm so old.
I was not going there.
Our scouting reports were handed to us on stone tablets.
Back in my day.
And we liked it. Yeah, we didn't had nowhere near the information that they have now. And
Morrow strikes out.
Most of it was very generic. It was, high and away, down and away, up and in. Basic stuff about pitching that would apply to just about any hitter. Then they would be told who's hot, who's not hot. Not sure exactly what you were supposed to do with that information, because there's no guarantee that the hot guy is going to stay hot and the cold guy is going to stay cold. So yeah, I mean, the amount of data they have now and how specific it is, it's tremendous. And so Kyle Hendricks kind of the perfect fit for this era because of his intelligence and his ability to execute the game plan.
0-2 on Saladino. Nothing but strikes here in the second. Did you keep a notebook of any kind?
I did. I did for a very short time. I found it to not be particularly useful. We didn't look at video. We might watch some VHS stuff of our own starts just to see our delivery. But in terms of breaking down opposing hitters, we did not do that.
You skipped the beta era, right to VHS.
Yeah, and there's probably a level of commitment that needed to be there to do all that homework. Played in it's kind of a cynical age, because some of this stuff was starting to creep in, but a lot of players were, they just, no, I'll trust my instincts, I'll trust my stuff. I don't want to be fed all this information. It's just going to cloud up my mind. But I think had there been more information and somebody been able to present it in such a way, I would have been receptive. Knucklehead not to.
3 straight strikeouts for Hendricks. He was struggling in the first inning. Trying to get comfortable here in the second. Here's Eaton, who walked and scored the only run.
But I agree with you, Kelly. I think Mike Borzello is a very valuable guy. He spends a lot of time breaking it all down and giving the pitchers a plan of attack.
Hours and hours and hours of studying. One and one on Eaton. One got away from Kyle. Francisco Liriano has homered off King Felix tonight. I guess he hit it over 400 feet. Pirates lead the Mariners 4-2. Seattle comes to Wrigley Field Friday afternoon. In the third inning in that one, Ichiro is 0 for 2 tonight. So 2 strikes.
Change up, a real good put away pitch for him.
Used it again, and he just struck out the side.
Eaton staring him down as if to say, challenge me.
1-0 White Sox after 2. especially for the Marlins series, August 1st through the 3rd. That's next week. Don't miss the action at Wrigley Field. Visit Cubs.com to get your tickets today. So back home to play the White Sox, the Mariners, and the Marlins. Strike on Chris Bryant. Foul pop back to the seats.
Once again, Chris finds himself in battle mode, down 2 strikes against Shields.
Leg kick and the 0-2. He's going to keep trying it until Chris doesn't swing at it. And now we're getting into the he knows that I know that he knows mode, right?
Good take.
Reset as he takes a breath and stares at his bat for a moment. 3-2, 0-2 to 3-2.
Shields one more time with a changeup and overthrew that one a little bit. Didn't get a flinch from Chris at all. Maybe a little bit of a hot gun here. A little more giddy up on that fastball than he normally has. Ooh, there's a good one.
He got him again. Three strikeouts for Shields. 2 have come against Bryant. Mentioned the White Sox connection with Shields' first cousin Aaron Rowan. There was another connection before he got here.
What was that?
It's kind of like Addison Russell.
Street name?
35th and
Yeah.
Shields.
He should wear number 35, shouldn't he?
He should. Is he retired?
Is that what Frank Thomas wore?
Then that one wouldn't be available.
Gibson called that down on the way strike a couple times to a left-handed hitter.
The only number between 19 and 72, other than Jackie Robinson's 42, that has been retired, is 35. So bad luck for James Shields. There's a base hit for Rizzo. He's been on twice, a walk and a single. Now Ben Zobrist. So I asked Ben today, how did you fare against Aroldis Chapman? And I got an interesting answer. He's faced him once in his career. It was last year. And a strike. It was August 18th with Kansas City at Cincinnati. Reds had a 1-run lead in the 9th inning, a 2-1 slider. And Zobrist took him deep. The Royals would win that game 3-1 in 13 innings. He told me today, he said, if he had just thrown 100 miles an hour about letter high a couple more times, I wouldn't have had a prayer. Diving stab by Anderson to rob Zobrist. 2 outs.
Wow, what a play by Anderson. This ball scalded by Zobrist. Cat-like reflexes for Anderson. He was positioned well to begin with. I'm sure when Ben made contact with that one, he was thinking, there's a knock.
Here's Russell. So yeah, Zoe can tell his new teammate, you're in my book. Russell pops it up into shallow right. Eaton with an easy play. And that's that. 1-out single and a hard line out. 1-0 White Sox. The parking lot.
Oh, nice shot. Hey fans, when you think mortgage in Chicago, think eClick Lending with rates at all-time lows. Don't wait, lock in your low rate today. With eClick Lending, you never pay lending fees. Point, click, save, eClick Lending.
Anderson with that terrific diving stop. Singled in the first inning. One and one the count.
Scouts would refer to Tim Anderson as toolsy. Speed, some power in that bat.
Pick on the short hop by LaStella.
Still pretty raw though is Anderson, but it'll be interesting to see what he ultimately becomes. Ever play washers?
Washers?
Washers.
I have no.
It's a good beach game. You have a box. And you have a hole in the middle of the box about the size of a coffee can. And then you use these big 3-inch washers. It's kind of like a horseshoes game. If it goes in the hole, it's like 3 points or whatever. In the box but not in the hole, it's 1 point. And you can make up your own rules.
Sure. Sounds fun. By the way, I think we've got a hot radar gun here. We've seen Kyle up around 90 miles an hour as Cabrera serves that one into center. He's got an 11-game hitting streak. Felt like velocities last night maybe a tick or two a little higher than we normally see.
I agree. Kyle actually at his best when he's 87, 88 with sink. Sometimes if he reaches back for a little extra, that ball will flatten out on him. And, he will do that on occasion to, elevate fastball to change the eye level, give the hitter a different look. They're so accustomed to looking down, sinker change up down for the most part from Kyle.
All right, I need to get a ruling since it's Crosstown Classic. I'm hearing cornhole is what people here call it.
Yeah.
But bags is the other thing. But I'm getting a little pushback that bags is kind of the local.
I never heard of
bean
bags.
Bean bags.
They just call it bags? They call it game bags?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. We used to call it toss across.
Toss across?
Yeah, there's a game that had the whole grid there with the X's and the O's, and you tried to play tic-tac-toe with your bean bags. Nowhere near as exciting as jarts.
Near as dangerous.
No, jarts were.
Yeah, played a lot of that. Yeah. Outside corner for a strike.
I think Erwin Mainway invented jarts.
What about jorts? Ground ball into right, and Cabrera will stop at second. Back-to-back one-out singles.
They're pretty much a station-to-station base runner. Sox rising up here after Kyle strikes out the side in the second. Back-to-back one-out hits.
Two on for Morneau. Fouled away.
Yeah, I imagine the buzzword in the White Sox dugout is stay back. It's like middle the other way against Hendricks. If he makes a mistake inner half or floats a changeup up there, that pitch you can pull with authority, but especially second time around, they're going to try to make adjustments.
Could be two. Russell and Rizzo is off the base. So due to the shift, it took Baez a little longer to get over there. So Russell decided to take it to second by himself, and that may have affected his throw.
That boy looked like a routine double play ball, but you see where Javi starts from, so he's got a long way to go. Addison decides to take it himself, a little bit off balance as he reaches for the base, and that causes the throw to sail on him a little bit here. And I think we're going to take a look.
So Joe has challenged. We will have a Foresight Technology replay review. See if Rizzo was on first base. Looks like he was.
It's pretty good right there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, great look right there. Webbing in the back of the glove, snap, foot still on the base.
Should be a 6-3 double play. Amateur Quinnipiac Deshays poll. 78% say it's bags.
Bags?
That's the name of the game here. Yep.
Depending on the call here, Robin may challenge whether Addison got second base or not. They're just showing a replay here on the big board in the ballpark, and it looked like he was close to missing the base as he did the old step and throw.
So out is the call, and I don't see Robin stirring. You know what the fielders did? They stayed on the bags.
Stayed on the bags. Did Addison get the bag?
Oh. Barely.
Yeah, just barely.
1-0 White Sox. One to nothing for the home team. Shields to Hayward, and a strike. Popped up. Some good contact here from Jason in his first two at bats. To bring up Baez.
This Saturday, that would be the 30th of July, the Cubs and the Mariners at 1:20. It'll be good to see the Mariners. We don't see them very often. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs misting fan presented by Comcast Sportsnet. For more information and ticket availability, visit Cubs.com.
And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Sony PlayStation View.
What? What does that mean? I don't even comprehend that.
They're games, they're watching us. That's what it means. I don't know if you can do both. Baez bounces out. 2 quick outs. Here's Montero. I'm telling you, within about 4 years.
Unfrozen caveman lawyer. I'm just a simple man. I don't understand all this.
2019, we're going to be saying we want to welcome all those watching on their refrigerators.
Yeah. Dixon didn't that little leeway off the outside corner. You see that more with the left-handed hitter because all the catchers are right-handed, right? So he can set up out there and he doesn't have to reach for that pitch.
Towering fly ball, Montero. He thinks he may have gotten it, and he came up just short. Eaton's got it on the warning track. What did Shields think? He wasn't quite sure until it was caught. 1-0. Voted one of Chicago's best museums, combines high-tech interactive experiences with unique game-used treasures. Admission is free when you dine next door at Harry Carey's restaurant. For more information, visit chicagosportsmuseum.com. Strike called on Todd Frazier. Side for a ball.
His home run last night. Pretty much straight away center field. Seen him hit a number of balls out there. His power to all fields. He went off Jeff Samardzija a couple of years back. Way up in Cincinnati. That was a breaking ball from Marietta. Stayed on the inner half.
Struck him out. Number 6 for Hendricks. Hey, got a nice note from Rob on Twitter. He says he's kicking it old school in Iowa, watching us on TV tonight.
Adjust those rabbit ears.
And now I'm told you can watch already on your fridge, so yeah, we're already there. I mean, how long does it take you to get some ice out of the dispenser of your refrigerator? 12 seconds? You got to have a TV there?
You don't want to miss a thing.
2 outs.
This Sunday, 7:05 game on Sunday. That'll be the finale of their series with the Mariners, and up to the first 5,000 kids 13 and younger receive a Cubs youth batting practice pullover presented by Bigelow Tea. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
The other problem with the TV on the outside of the fridge is you can't open the fridge and still watch TV unless it's on inside.
Who knows?
Switch hitting Deoner Navarro. It's 2-2 on this very short road trip. 5 games is not very long, and they didn't have to travel far. High drive to right, hooking, out of play.
2 outs, nobody on. Navarro turned loose on 3-0, took a home run swing. It's a little too quick.
Three and two. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the White Sox go down in order for the second time tonight. They lead the Cubs 1-0. Our Cubs insider all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. One and one on Tommy La Stella.
It's a good look.
The latest on that story, Chris Sale did talk to Scott Merkin from MLB.com and apologized to the fans and his teammates as Stella takes what he called third, one away, but he did not apologize for kind of the idea of what he thought was right. He was not comfortable in that jersey, and as a result of cutting up his and several teammates' jerseys, he was sent home and suspended for 5 days.
He called out Robin Ventura too.
Yeah, he did, and that
That won't play well in the clubhouse.
I wouldn't think so.
So it's up to Robin to fight for us against the business side of the operation. So we don't have to wear the jerseys we don't want to wear.
Cabrera will make the catch. Yeah, I mean, I think the suspension was appropriate. Cannot do what he did. I think he is allowed to say that the jersey is not comfortable. It's what he did after the fact of that. Is not going to play in any clubhouse. You're right. So he'll start Thursday. That will be an interesting return for sure.
Well, round 3 so far. Shields has struck Chris out both times, beating him with that changeup on each occasion.
Progress for Bryant, but I don't think Chris is going to see it that way as he fouls out. So he's 0 for 3, and Shields has looked sharp here through 5. 1-0 White Sox. And our PNC Bank upcoming schedule: Anthony Renato tomorrow against Jason Hamill at Wrigley Field. Chris Sale, John Lackey. Should be a good matchup Thursday night. White Sox batting as they lead 1-0.
It will be a White Sox debut for Renato tomorrow. They got him from the Rangers. He's just held up a Joey Gallo slugging prospect.
He's in for Jacob Turner, the ex-Cub who had a couple of rough starts. Speaking of the Rangers, Prince Fielder looks like he might have to have season-ending neck surgery.
Yeah, I saw that.
Second time in, what, 3 years? Toward third, and it's foul.
Rangers also released Kyle Loesch. He made a couple starts, didn't go well.
Adrian Beltre with a game-ending homer to beat the A's last night. rain delay tonight. Giants lost again last night to the Reds. They're 1-8 since the All-Star break, and they went into action today with a 2.5 game lead over the Dodgers.
The Dodgers probably playing the best baseball of anybody in the National League over the last 2-3 weeks.
Baez gets Saladino.
This Monday, August 1st. It's Thursday already. How about that? Cubs and the Marlins. First pitch 7:05, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Chris Bryant Rookie of the Year bobblehead presented by Wintrust Community Banks. Purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Eaton to left, that one slicing out of play. Cardinals did win the first game of that doubleheader in New York, 3-2 the final.
Jed Jerko with a big home run. That guy's been on fire.
So they're within 6.5 of the Cubs as they play game 2 tonight, and they lead 1-0 in the bottom of the second.
White Sox cashed in a leadoff walk by Eaton in the first inning. That's the scoring so far in the ball game. Came home on a Jose Abreu 1-out single.
Deep to right, and Hayward can only watch it go. 2-0 White Sox.
Number 7 for Eaton, known more for his speed, the ability to play small ball. He leaned on that one. Hendricks carved him up pretty good last time, and he tries to change up again here, and this time Eaton's waiting for it. It's the 3rd home run by a left-handed batter against Kyle this year.
So 2-zip. Here's Anderson. A cut changeup that was up a little bit, but he got away with it as Anderson pops to Russell. Curve on the outside to Cabrera. Change up. Chris Tillman starting for the Orioles tonight, trying to become Major League Baseball's first 15-game winner, but he's down 5-0 to the Rockies in the 5th. Cup DJ LeMahieu hitting .328. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
A bit of a hanger there. Well, it's got to put him among the league leaders, no?
He's got enough plate appearances, yeah. He is 3rd in the National League in batting going into tonight.
And a pair of Nationals, Murphy and Ramos.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's full. Heard Joe on the score today. They were asking him about Aroldis Chapman. He's going to be the 9th inning closer. And when asked, well, in the playoffs, you got Harper and Murphy coming up in the 7th. Would you consider Chapman? He said, well, we got to get there first, but he left the door open. So he'll have some options later this season. But for now, the Cubs can get a lead late. We would see Chapman tonight. They trail, however, 2-0 after 5.
Cubs trailing 2-0 here on the south side. This is your Coors Light game report. Talking a lot about Aroldis Chapman, what the Cubs think of his addition, and Anthony Rizzo has an interesting perspective when it comes to a lot of the Cubs players, because he said, guys, I was here when all this team did was sell, sell, sell at this point in the season. So to see Jed and Theo go after a guy like that, it puts a lot of confidence in us that they are paying off all the hard work that we did to get to this point, especially early in the season, to be where we are, and now it is our window to go finish the job. So I thought that was interesting coming from Anthony Rizzo, who of course has been here for a long time with the trade deadline looming.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, and kind of got into it with his new teammate a couple of years ago in Cincinnati. They're pulling the rope in the same direction now. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air to right and deep, and it is caught. Foul territory right in the corner. Eaton makes the catch.
Off the bat, thinking perhaps home run, but it turns into a long foul out. Eaton able to run it down. It's kind of a trend here the last few games. Cubs not able to get much going against opposing starting pitchers. Certainly the case in the final 2 games of the Brewers series. Again last night, Gonzalez the starter sharp, and now Shields throwing bagels.
One ball, no strikes to Zobrist. Pitch off the end of the bat. On the ground, foul. Probably can hear the grunting of Shields. You do that on your fastball, probably best served doing it on every pitch, and you heard it. Pitch of 77 miles an hour.
Backing off the cut fastball usage a little bit, relying heavily on the changeup and curveball as secondary pitches off the heater.
Into his motion, the 3-2 is popped up. Ben Zobrist is so respectful of his equipment. You could tell he wanted to slam his bat down, but that's just not him.
Gets frustrated like everybody else, but not going to slam his bat or throw his helmet.
Frustration, you can tell. Respecting 90 and respecting the lumber against his former Rays teammate. One and one on Addison Russell.
Shields had to throw a lot of pitches in the second inning. I thought maybe it might be a factor, but 2 outs in the 6th. He's made 81 pitches.
His last 3 starts, he's lost all of them, despite an ERA of about 2. Well, tonight, his team gives him 2, and he hasn't given up anything. told this story before, but I think it's instructive when you see guys like Ben Zobrist, Jason Hayward. I would put Addison Russell, Chris Bryant in that category. Cubs have a lot of guys like this. They're not snappers. Some guys snap, and they show it in front of everybody. Paul O'Neill was one of the more
classic
famous.
Great snapper, yeah.
And Derek Lee, was once asked, "Why don't you snap?" And he said, "Because my mom would be disappointed in me." And he was as intense a competitor as anybody. Kyle Hendricks doesn't show his emotions, but you talk to people around him, they say he is as competitive as any guy in the rotation. We're all different.
Well, there used to be a school of thought that if you snapped, you were showing the other team that you were defeated. It was a show of frustration that you just got no chance here.
Baseball's different than other sports too. It's foul in a lot of other sports. Basketball for sure, hockey for sure, I think football for sure. The harder you play, the more intense, all that stuff, the better you're going to be. But in this sport, that's not.
In those sports, you channel emotion. In this sport, you kind of push it to the side.
Russell walks to keep the inning alive. Pause by Shields, and the pitch. This is outside. If you've gone into any tunnel between a clubhouse and a dugout in a big league park, you have seen the results of snappage.
Dents.
Lots of dents in the walls, chipped paint. One and one. Two.
Jason hitting just .229 against right-handed pitching this year. Last year, better than .300 against righties. He hit .293 overall last year. So he struggled against both right and lefties.
Ground ball, right field. Russell holding. 2-out rally, walk and a single. Walking up now, Baez, who has struck out and grounded out.
They've seen a lot of off-speed stuff from Shields, and I suspect he's going to see a fair bit of it in this confrontation as well. But third time around, maybe a chance to make an adjustment. Base hit by Hayward, just the third for the Cubs here this evening.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to left. Anderson racing into foul territory, and he's got it. Well, he got there in a hurry, right near the tarp, and the Cubs strand 2. Shields is pumped up, shutting out the Cubs through 6. 2-0. In Milwaukee, here on the south side. He's coming to Wrigley, too. Tomorrow afternoon, CSN Chicago brings you live coverage from Bears training camp as Coach John Fox and GM Ryan Pace meet the media for the first time this season. It all starts tomorrow at 2 on CSN Chicago.
Eaton's coming back on short rest.
Yeah. All right, we got the, was it 3-pound Sunday? Something like that. Thanks to Brooks Boyer for dropping it off. Kind of fatten us up.
Yeah.
About 3 pounds?
Yeah.
One and one on Abreu.
I guess it would be a 3-pound banana split.
Swing and a miss. I got a good question on Twitter. We've seen a lot of change-ups tonight from these two starters. Ed wants to know why we never hear about the screwball. Because nobody really throws it anymore. Very few guys over the last decade or so have thrown that pitch. Abreu got jammed and he bounces out.
Very few guys in the history of the game have thrown the screwball. There was somebody we saw not too long ago that featured
Daniel Ray Herrera, was it? Lefty.
Yeah.
Jim Messier, a right-hander.
Yeah. And you know, screwball is essentially a changeup. It's just another way of throwing a change of pace. It's just an exaggerated turn, where you really pronate really sharply. Fernando Valenzuela, a real good screwball. Tommy Browning threw a screwball. The great Carl Hubble. Mike Marshall. Talk about old school. Mike Marshall pitched over 200 innings in relief one year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Travis Wood up in the Cubs bullpen. Fastball strike. As John points out on Twitter, Hector Santiago at one point threw a screwball. Remember that. Bounced foul. I mean, it's just a great name for a pitch. So it would be nice if somebody threw one. We have not seen a knuckleballer this year. We haven't seen R.A. Dickey or Stephen Wright. In person, I mean.
Are those the only two going? As far as I know, right?
I think so. Who wants it? It's Zobrist for the second out.
Well, Kyle has given up a couple of runs tonight. The first 2 earned runs he's allowed in the month of July, but still pitching a very solid ball game. Looks like they're going to have to adopt the same MO they've used in recent days, the late game rally. Get something done against the White Sox bullpen.
Be careful here. 2-0 on a home run hitter.
Now we saw Navarro swinging 3-0 back in the 4th with 2 outs, so you know Frazier's got the freedom to turn it loose here. So what do you do with that information if you're Kyle Hendricks? Well, probably just try to throw that sinker down and away. Just like that, make him lean.
3-0, and he will get another chance as it's out of play.
It's looking mostly away to these right-handed hitters. Center cut there.
Three-two. Jam shot, pop up. Rizzo! Did he catch it? Where is it?
Didn't get it. I thought he had it.
Baez has it.
Boy, what an effort.
Yeah.
Awkwardly going to the ground, trying to catch this little pop-up off the bat of Todd Frazier. And
see it get away from Anthony.
Yeah,
where did it go? Oh,
yeah,
right there. Okay,
right
I got you. That was blocked. Yep. That'll be it for Hendricks.
Todd Frazier may have had a cheaper hit this year, but maybe not.
So Joe will go into the bullpen. Travis Wood when we come back. Sauces and seasonings called to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs. Here's left-hander Travis Wood.
One of 3 lefties out there in the pen with Chapman and Montgomery. Travis working for the 50th time. Picked up 3 wins along the way. Pitched to a .288 ERA. Got J.B. Shuck coming up. There's the Cuban fireballer. Chatting it up with Hector Rondon. Will now be the 8th inning specialist. Hey, how much wood could a wood shuck if a wood shuck could shuck wood?
Been waiting for this matchup all year. Frazier takes off. Here's a throw by Montero on a bounce. Ooh, close. Good quick tag by Russell.
We talk a lot about Baez with that skill, and Russell too. Really quick. Usually the slugger will sneak up on you. If he is safe, it will be his 8th steal in 10 tries. Let's see. What do you think?
He's challenging. It's a good 50-50 challenge here in the 6th. He got him. Foresight Technology replay review.
I'm thinking safe to this point. Ooh, I don't know. One more look. Out. If that tag is on the foot, the toe is shy of the base. Judge will present Exhibit A. Freeze frame. How cool would it be if those guys just started playing rock, scissors, paper out there while they waited?
I was thinking air guitar during this solo.
Pull a deck of cards out of your back pocket, start dealing.
They should be playing Tom Petty. The waiting is the hardest part. This one's taking a while.
You know what happened on this date in 1962?
What's that?
Gene Conley, Pumpsy Green, playing for the Boston Red Sox, taking the team bus back to the hotel in New York. Conley went 2+ innings, I think, didn't pitch very well. The bus was stuck in traffic, so they decided to get off the bus because they had to use the restroom. They did not come back to the bus. Gene Conley went to the airport, tried to board a flight to Israel, was not allowed on because he didn't have a passport. I mean, I don't know what transpired, you know, after he came out of the game. You know, now they're going to let that call stand. And I think they were both away from the club for 3 or 4 days. At least Conley was.
Wow. What year? 60?
It's 1962, I believe. And Conley, an interesting guy. He, I believe, is still the only guy to win a championship in 2 major sports. He was a Milwaukee Brave and a 3-time winner with the Boston Celtics.
Joe loses his challenge. Shuck takes a strike, 1-1. Well, it was 1962, the last time the White Sox had engineered 3 consecutive walk-off wins prior to these last 3 games. It's a strike. 2-2. Got to play. This will be another sellout tonight. Should be the same at Wrigley Field.
A lot of Cub fans at the ballpark again tonight, as there was last night. That's what really added to the energy. Both fan bases really getting after it. Very exciting game with a lot of drama, and perhaps that will be the case here tonight as well. So if Felix Hernandez is pitching tonight, we should see him, correct?
Well, they're off Thursday, so if they keep him on normal rest, he would pitch Sunday night. If not, he would not pitch in that series. Not sure yet. Full count, 3-2. I will find out if the Mariners have their probables through the weekend in the game notes. He is listed as Sunday night's starter. Iwakuma, Miley, and Hernandez in that series coming up. 3-2, pop foul. Out of play.
What are the Mariners doing? Are they they're 7 games back of the Rangers?
Yeah, they're just ahead of the White Sox in the wild card race. They're 2 over going into tonight.
Hey, you know what? J.B. Shuck is a tough guy to finish off. He doesn't strike out very much at all.
I feel like we've heard this before.
Would he chase if Travis went real short with a breaking ball? We don't see Travis do that very often. Fastballs, cutters, and the occasional slider. The Wood-Shuck matchup is proving to be a good one.
Still hasn't been able to put him away. That's 4 consecutive foul balls.
Pitcher, you think, well, if I can just throw a little dead fish fastball, throw a straight changeup, maybe I'd catch him way out in front. But if you don't, he lays off it for ball 4. You've invested all this energy, all this work making all these pitches to end up walking a guy who's not a real dangerous hitter. And you have to start fresh.
Pitch number 11 is ball 4.
Fresh start it will be to former battery mate.
Sox runs in the first and the fifth. RBI single of Abreu in the opening inning. Eaton with a homer in the fifth. Wood in relief of Hendricks, and Montero wants a word.
Kyle tonight 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs so far, responsible for Frazier. A couple of walks, 7 strikeouts.
Foul out of play. Three and one. Hendricks gave up a single to Frazier. Blooper to right. Taken out for Travis Wood. There was a stolen base after Travis came in. Replay review took quite a while. Long at bat. Shuck ended up walking. Now he's 3-1 on Navarro. Bases are loaded for Saladino.
Last night's hero for the White Sox. White Sox haven't done a lot of good work in this inning other than be patient. The last 2 hitters, Frazier's hit was just that little flare that Anthony had go off the end of his glove. And now they got the bases loaded. And the man who delivered the game winner last night, Saladino, driving home Shuck. Their 3rd consecutive walk-off win. Saladino getting the start at second base for the 4th consecutive time. Brett Lawrie, the normal second baseman, is banged up. Saladino has played more short and third. As a matter of fact, this is the only work he's gotten at second base in his big league career.
Three on, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. A reminder, follow In Game Live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm.
Travis, who has been a strike throwing machine so far this year, able to locate here tonight. It's getting dicey.
Travis racing over to his own dugout. There aren't many pitchers who would even think about that. He considers himself a baseball player. I saw him in left field earlier this year. Good hitter.
One of the best plays I ever saw was a young Jamie Moyer crashing through the fence in front of the Cubs dugout at Wrigley many years ago. On a pop-up.
There's Joe Nathan. A couple of days after a successful return to the major leagues in his Cub debut. 3-1. So getting worrisome here.
Maybe trying to guide it a little bit.
Right after him, 3-2. Action time with the 2 outs, bases loaded, and a 3-2 count. The pitch, he just walked in a run, and it's 3-0. Eaton bunts, foul. Got a little sneak attack with 2 outs. Only problem with that play, it's not a bad idea, but if Listella or Wood can get to it, they could just flip to the plate and get that force.
Yeah, you got to make sure you got a guy at third base who's a pretty good base runner. In an ideal world, that's one of those things that's been talked about over the course of the year. You know, hey, you know what? If you're around third base, base loaded, don't fall asleep down there. I might try a little push bunt.
Xfinity high-speed action. They're trying to play small ball here in this at bat. Big ball back in the 5th as he took Hendricks deep. One and 2.
Frazier crossing home plate closes the book on Kyle Hendricks, charged with 3 runs tonight.
Eaton over 300 against lefties as he waits on a 2-2. Will finally get the Cubs out of the inning, but the White Sox add to their lead. 3 straight walks, the last of which forced in a run. It's 3-0. Changing new premier experience at Wrigley Field with seats featuring prime views and access to an exclusive club and first-class amenities. The experience will allow fans to enjoy Cubs baseball in a whole new way. Visit CubsPremier.com to join the Premier Client Priority List. Some late inning work to do. Cubs the last 2 games were able to come back from 4-0 deficits. They won on Sunday in Milwaukee. They tied up the White Sox late, only to lose last night. They're down 3-0 to James Shields tonight.
The 7th inning's been the magic inning of late. Shields had 95 pitches. There's the veteran Zach Duke.
He pitched in game 1. Fair ball. It's Abreu unassisted. La Stella reached on catcher interference in the 2nd, caught looking in the 5th.
So Shields signed that 4-year deal with the Padres, pitched a year and a half of it. Padres are paying a big chunk of his salary this year, and then about a half of it in the remaining 2 years. He could prove to be a pretty nice bargain for the White Sox if he continues to pitch like this and stays here through the length of that contract.
Well, you remember early in his career, he earned the nickname Big Game James. Some big starts with Tampa Bay, especially in 2008, including game 2 of the World Series. He won against the Phillies, the only World Series win in Rays history to this point. You see Ichiro is now 3 hits away from 3,000. Shallow center, Anderson out, and he's calling, and it drops. And a base hit for La Stella.
Ball was in the air a long time. It looked like somebody would be able to run under that one. Nobody able to take charge and put it away, and La Stella's on with a bloop single. Anderson made a heck of a play on a pop-up earlier, going way down the line and left. Maybe that will be the start of something.
The batter is Fowler. He is 0 for 3 from the leadoff spot. 1 for 8 in the series. The Cardinals potentially winning 2 today. This is an important one for the Cubs. Cardinals are trailing in the nightcap 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 5th. Jed Jerko has homered in both ends of that doubleheader. Wow. Swing and a miss on the changeup.
Yeah, that's been the pitch. It's been his escape hatch. Fastball counts, the ability to throw that changeup and get swings and misses.
So once you get to 2 strikes tonight, flip a coin, you could get a changeup. with a slider. And it's 3-2.
Good pitch, good eye.
Double play ball. And they turn it 6-4-3. And the inning's over. We'll stretch here at U.S. Cellular. It's 3-0 White Sox.
The perfect gift for parents of tiny cubs to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo of the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, baby stocking cap, and unique Cubs onesie. Visit Cubs.com/kids for more information.
Joe Nathan, second appearance as a Cub. He got the win on Sunday in his return from Tommy John surgery. Second and third, nobody out, and he found a way out of it. 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, I got Ryan Braun, Jonathan LaCroix, part of the heart of the Brewers order to get out of that mess, and the Cubs rallied. He got the W.
Jobs to keep the White Sox right where they are. Cubs already down 3. Anderson pushes a bunt foul.
Mostly fastballs and sliders from Joe Nathan. In his salad days, he was a mid-90s guy, not anymore.
Nothing in 2.
High 3/4 delivery allows him to get on top of that slider, and that pitch with very good depth.
He's faced this uniform, well, not this one, the one they normally wear a lot. If he faced this particular uniform a lot, you'd say he's really old.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, not that long. He broke in with the Giants in 1999. Did some starting his first couple of years in the big leagues. Full time from the bullpen beginning in 2002. 377 saves in his big league career.
492. We saw him max out at about 94 on Sunday. The adrenaline was really going as he gets Anderson. Cabrera 1 out of 3. One and one. Wind and the pitch. Strike 2. Abreu on deck. Slider is lined to Fowler. So 2 gone. Now Abreu 2 out of 3 with an RBI single in the first inning. One and 0. White Sox will not have the DH at their disposal the next 2 days. It's been Morneau here these first 2 games. Ball 2. Nobody up in the White Sox bullpen. It's possible somebody had been getting ready earlier this inning, but I don't think so. It's James Shields' game, at least to the 8th. 3-1.
Yeah, I think that we get somebody up to go along with him as he works the 8th and just take it one batter at a time. Because of the Sale suspension, the bullpen got worked awfully hard that day, and they're trying to play catch up and have some tired arms in the pen.
So back in it, 3-2.
Real good action on that slider tonight.
Fastball 93, and Abreu could only foul it away.
We didn't know what to expect from Joe Nathan. 41 years of age, coming back from his second Tommy John surgery. This will play, you know, 92, 93 with that slider. Maybe not what he once was stuff-wise, but certainly good enough.
Another 3-2 and a pop-up. on the infield. Addison Russell to end the inning. Off to inning number 8. Cubs trail 3-zip. Big crowd tonight, and the White Sox fans have had a lot more to cheer about. 3-0, 8th inning. Big inning for the Cubs because of the spot in the lineup. Bryant, Rizzo, Zobrist.
Thought he checked, apparently did not. Hunter Wendelstedt brings him up. Hefty
home run leaders. Bryant and Rizzo among the league leaders. 5 guys in double digits after Baez went deep last night. Every good hitter, he's got a guy he just cannot solve. And this is a good challenge for Chris Bryant. He's had trouble with Shields here early in his career. And he strikes out for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, and you wonder if the struggles tonight are just a byproduct of that very first game when he faced Shields and struck out 3 times against him. Just kind of coming into the game, I'm going to get this guy, and just getting out of his game a little bit. You saw the frustration as he tried to check his swing on those elevated fastballs. And that was really good work by Shields and Navarro. All the soft stuff early in the game against Chris, and then a couple of high fastballs to get this at-bat started before going back to that changeup.
Rizzo in the air, short center. Anderson waving off. Shuck, and he's got it. So 2 outs. Here's Zobrist. Ball one. It started to turn around for Shields in Boston June 23rd. White Sox lost that game. He got a no decision. He went 5 innings, 99 pitches. Doesn't sound great. 3 runs. It was not even a quality start. He walked 4. But it wasn't a disaster. So he was able to build on that. 6 2/3, 1 run, 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 2/3, 2 runs, 8 innings, 1 run. That was a 1-0 loss.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable turnaround for him. You can imagine his state of mind as he went through that stretch where he was just getting hammered. Many times you see a pitcher go through that, and the next thing you know, they end up on the disabled list.
He's at 115. Trying to get through this 8th inning. He had 11 complete games in 2011 with the Rays. He was an all-star that year. .249 in a 3rd innings. Just 5 seasons ago. He has been a workhorse. 3-2. Might be his last batter. Nate Jones is up in their bullpen. We'll see. Zobrist walks, and Robin looking at Don Cooper. As Russell comes up.
They're both ready. One of them is going to get the call.
I'm guessing Jones with the right-handed Russell do. Season high 117 pitches, and Shields will hand the ball to his manager, and he'll get a big hand from the home fans here on the south side. Seasonings call to the pen. Right-hander Nate Jones.
A hard thrower, mid to upper 90s. Complements it with a slider. He got that funky delivery, doesn't he? The way he holds his arm out, kind of shows it to the hitter. 4-2, 260 the ERA for Jones. 30 years of age. Drafted by the White Sox, 5th round of 2007.
Real busy first couple of years of his major league career. Tommy John surgery. 2014 before he got hurt. Up and in. 98 to Russell.
We're going to get to a point when a pitcher comes into the game, we'll have to point out he has not had Tommy John surgery.
Right. 2 games in 2014, 2 hits, 4 runs, no outs recorded for an ERA of infinity.
I don't think you'd ever teach anybody to pitch the way he pitches, but it works for him.
It in there, 2-1. No surprises, just some heat. Zobrist the runner at first, 2 outs, 8th inning. Charged by Frazier, and he'll get Russell. And the Cubs are done in the 8th. It's late, it's the 8th, and it's 3-0.
Field. The Cubs suggest taking public transportation. The Cubs offer a free bike check. That is now located by the Addison Red Line station. For drivers, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com.
Right-hander Pedro Strop here in the bottom of the 8th. Cubs have used Hendricks, Wood, Nathan, and now Strop.
Doing good work. Strikeout rate up a little bit from last year. Walk rate is down. Talked so much about Arrieta and the change of scenery when he came over from Baltimore. Remember, Strop came in that same deal when Pedro was with Baltimore.
Baez gets Morneau.
In 2013, he was 0-3 with a 7.25 ERA. For the Birds that year, 29 appearances. With the Cubs that year, 37 appearances at 2.83, and his ERA each year in a Cub uniform has stayed below 3. So we got got out of Baltimore and turned things around as well.
Frazier takes a strike. Starters are the pitchers of record. Shields trying to get his 5th win. Kyle Hendricks has his 5-game win streak on the line.
Yes, he did. No, he didn't.
Hunter Wendelstedt made the call. Mets now lead 3-1 over the Cards. They're in the 6th. Bartolo Colon pitching for New York tonight.
I was just going to say, if the Cardinals were to sweep that doubleheader and the Cubs lose this ball game, they would fall to within 5.5. Closest anybody has been to the Cubs since the end of May.
David Robertson was not available last night. Getting ready for the 9th tonight. Backhanded neatly by Russell. Got him.
Slick fielders in the middle of the diamond with Baez and Russell. On the move quickly, and such a quick first step. He's not an exceptionally fast base runner. His quick actions.
Ball 1 on Shuck. Good matchup in Cleveland. Nationals and Indians. 2 first-place teams. 5-4 Washington. They're in the top of the 9th. Wilson Ramos, Anthony Rendon have homered for the Nationals. Marlins shut out the Phillies 5-zip. Stroke can't get it. Baez will charge. The throw to first. Out. Shuck thought he was safe. Robin wants to maybe ask for a replay. Boy, did he get rid of that quickly. My goodness.
Been fun to watch play. These 2 kids in the middle.
Didn't you just say that?
Yeah. Over and over and over again. Ooh.
Robin's going to challenge. He's going to lose the challenge, but it's worth a shot. So we'll have a Foresight Technology replay review. Did you see out?
I did see out. I saw out, and especially since the original call was out, I would really be surprised if they overturned this one.
I'm marking it in my book 4-3. And the call should be confirmed. We now go to the 9th. We can cue the CSN orchestra. It's 3-0 White Sox. to Wrigley Field. Cubs and Sox will continue their battle for bragging rights. Coverage starts at 5 with Sports Talk Live, followed by a 1-hour edition of Pregame Live. Don't miss the Crosstown Classic, brought to you by State Farm. Here's David Robertson. He had an eventful weekend. He worked in that suspended game Saturday night and then came back on Sunday. He got the win in both games. Now, in the regularly scheduled game, he blew the save. He had a 3-run lead in the 9th, and he gave up 3 home runs. But the White Sox would win it in the bottom of the 9th, so he got a very odd win.
Yeah, just a crazy turn of events. He's allowed 5 home runs. The last 32 batters he has faced.
First White Sox pitcher to get 2 wins on the same day since Hall of Famer Tom Seaver in 1984 against Milwaukee.
One out of 3 tonight, one of the 4 Cub hits. Cutting action on his fastball, likes to try to run it up and in on the hands of a left-handed hitter. Has a real good curveball.
Former Yankee, All-Star in 2011. Anderson in the outfield grass retires Hayward. There's Baez. The Cubs are going to do this. It's going to have to start with the bottom of the order.
Frazier will come in a little bit at third base, take away the bunt.
Two strikes. Were handcuffed by James Shields tonight. 7 2/3, 4 hits. He did walk 4. He really didn't have a lot of great opportunities against him. Baez strikes out. 2 gone. Now the base is loaded in the 2nd, but that happened with 2 outs.
They will not lament missed opportunities tonight. They will lament very few opportunities. Shields has a run going, something like nothing for 32 opposing batters with runners in scoring position.
Montero takes a strike. One.
Contreras out on deck for La Stella if the inning continues. Robertson, one of those reverse split guys, Tough on lefties with that cutter curveball combination. Think Mark Melanson.
Two balls, two strikes. 2 outs, nobody on, 9th inning. The kick and the pitch, and Montero stays alive. Wilson Contreras on deck.
I'm guessing that's what Joe's thinking with Contreras, unless there's something physically wrong with La Stella.
Yeah, makes you wonder. 3-2. Base runners. Cubs need a couple of them. It'll be the shortstop Anderson, and that'll do it. So the White Sox take both games here on the south side. And this home and home will shift to Wrigley Field tomorrow night. Cubs go 2-3 on this road trip. 1-2 out of 3 in Milwaukee, but lose both here.
I just couldn't generate any offense tonight against Shields. And he needed a little help from the boys in the bullpen, but not much. A lot of clean innings for Shields tonight. Cubs' point of view, Kyle Hendricks really good yet again, but this is about the 4th straight night where they have not been able to generate much offense, if any, against opposing starting pitchers.
Toast of the game presented by Binny's Beverage Depot goes to James Shields. Binny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. Again, he went into the 8th and beats Kyle Hendricks, who has his 5-game winning streak come to an end. Join us again Thursday, JD and I.